let me ask, can everyone just mute because somebody's got something going on that's making it very loud. So if you could please all mute. Josh, if not, use the all mute button if you can't figure out who our culprit is.
Everyone is muted except for you and Nick.
Excellent. Thank you. Okay. So maybe the feedback, I don't know whether it's me or Nick's not talking. Maybe it's me. Okay, everybody. Welcome to Big Joel Community Call. This is the first call of 2023. Let me go back one thing here so I can see everybody. Hold on, guys. Gallery. This is the first call of 2023. And so we're all excited and pumped, and hopefully you all are as well. I personally am bullish on 2023. I don't care what you're reading in the media. I think this is a take market share kind of market. Let the loan officers that aren't doing any business go ahead and tap out and leave, and we will take all their business. Correct, Nick? I'm sure you can give me thumbs up on that. We'll just take all their loans. Just to give you a little bit of just a tiny bit of housekeeping. Again, all of these calls are turned into audio podcasts, and they're on wherever you listen to your podcast, whether they're Spotify or I don't know, iHeartRadio or Apple, or wherever you listen to podcasts. You'll be able to find this on the Big Joel Show. If you miss it, you can definitely re-listen to it again because I got a really cool guest with me today. So just a little bit of what I call overarching talk a little bit, and I just want you guys to get pumped up because the guy we have on today is a purchase guy. This is a guy that started in the business doing purchase loans. Of course, he did refis like everybody else did, but that's never really been a focus for him, and that's why he's as successful as he is. That is obviously the market that we're in right now. That's the only market I love. I was just talking to a regional manager for a big company, and they were talking about a new person they were talking to coming on board. And I said, what was their volume? And he told me the volume. And I said, oh, what was that for? And he said, that was for 2022. And I said, feel free to ask for their volume for September, October, November, and December, because that's who you're hiring. Meaning there are people that close literally 60% of their volume in the first quarter of 2022 and then just literally fell off a cliff, not because they don't know what they're doing, because they weren't doing the right activities. And they're probably not doing the right activities right now. And again, just to get this call going, your job is not to write loans. Your job is to find people who need loans, become best friends with those people, and get those people to refer you people that need loans. Loan officers that do not have strong referral relationships right now are having a very, very hard time. Again, you all have heard me say this before. Feel free when this call is over to stand up, turn around, look at your chair. If it looks like an imprint of your ass, you've got a problem. You should not be sitting in your chair, okay? You should be out meeting people and getting loans, right, Kristen? That's what Kristen does every day, okay? That's what you should be doing. So with all that said, we have Nick Long today. I'm going to ask him in a second when we met, but I feel like it was like 2010. I think it's a long time ago already, maybe 2011, through his dad, who's an iconic mortgage guy. Nick is coming in hot from Orlando. I'm going to call it Metro, in obviously Orlando, Florida, where we just discussed the frozen iguanas are no longer falling from the trees there. So they're having a little warm spell right now. He's taking his Uggs off for a little bit. And Nick actually went hard when he started. He's a producing area manager for Guaranteed Rate. And when Nick started, he really grabbed Reno and went hard on it. And back then, you know, there was a couple of conventional Reno programs, but for the most part, people were really using Ks. Now, obviously, you can do Reno. I mean, Nick, I don't know how many different ways you can do Reno, but so Nick became a K expert and went out, and obviously in his market, that was a good thing to do. Those of you that have been around for a while have probably worked at companies where there's like the 203K guy. You know, you're not allowed to do the loan. You have to give the loan to someone else. And I always looked at those loans and kind of laughed and said, well, that's just a gubby with 4 extra pieces of paper. I don't understand. Why do we have to give this to someone else? This is referred by one of my agent partners. So, Nick, I just want to introduce you to everyone. Again, Nick Long, and we were going to chat a little bit today. Nick, tell me, how do you feel? How did you feel closing out 2022? I know you just made a move, so sort of subtract that because that's always a full-on hazing. How do you feel coming into 2023? Are you bullish? Tell us about your market, what you're thinking in general.
Oh, I think I'm very bullish on 2023. I think 2023 is going to be the breakout year for most loan officers who actually, put in the work, get out there, grind, and do what they should be doing. But yeah, I mean, closing out 2022, we saw the big decline in production, and you just could see it on many loan officers' faces, right? Like they just looked depressed. They were used to making, this amount of money, and now they went from this to this, and they're just, they're hurting. So, trying to refresh our guys and get them, energized about 2023, and just the market in general was a challenge. But I think all of our guys are very bullish on 2023.
Yeah, I'm Nick. As I'm talking to my one-on-one people, and a bunch of these people really haven't slowed down. I mean, they're closing a lot of units. Their percentage of save deals is going up, and it's for two reasons. Number one, loan officers that never knew what they were doing and had a really good LOA that knew what they were doing. And a lot of companies, that LOA got riffed and they're gone. And now there's an LO that doesn't know that there's a word, that there's a T in the word mortgage, handing in trash. The loans are getting blown up, going over to a good loan officer, and they're getting slammed through and closed. That's number one. Number two, companies are closing, or they are cranking their rates to slow the production, because either they can't handle it, or something bad's going on, or I don't want to necessarily say they have margin calls. That's over. Margin calls are over. But all of the agencies are questioning every partner they work with right now, and they're questioning their liquidity. And if the owners don't have the right kind of liquidity, some of them are losing the ability to even do a Fannie or Freddie loan, or in some cases, a Govy. I know there's not a ton of Govies being done right now, but a Fannie and Freddie conventional loan, they can't even do it. Are you seeing that in your market? Are you getting those phone calls from an agent like, hey, Nick, this is so-and-so. We haven't met, but are you getting those?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, we always have gotten a large amount of save deals, but we have seen a pretty large increase in save deals over the last during Q4 of 2022. But really, I mean, you can just tell, especially when someone's shopping you against someone else. It's very simple to just pick apart that loan officer and his experience, just even based off of the loan estimate and what they put on the loan estimate. That in and of itself is very telling of how the experience level of a loan officer and what they've told the client. And really, if you just take the extra 5 or 10 minutes to explain more options to a client that the other loan officer didn't take the time to do, that's going to win you the deal just in and of itself.
Yeah, and Nick, I just wrote down the word you said. You said the word experience, and I got to tell you, I mean, that is just really being a perfect at your craft, knowing how to talk to people on the phone. A lot of the loan officers you're competing against do not know how to do that. One of the big things, Nick, all over the market right now is 10-day closes, because people are getting people completely pre-approved, licked and sticked and done. Hand me that contract. I'm going to order that appraisal and let's go. It's one of the best ways to give a large bank or a broker a beat down that's trying to cut you in price. The other best way is what Nick just brought up, which again, sometimes doesn't apply to everyone because some people are newer or they don't have a mentor around them to really help them. But being, a pro at your craft, sometimes just asking those questions. And I can just imagine Nick on the phone going, oh, what did they say about the cosign loan? Did they say that was okay? Wait, what cosign loan? You know what I mean? Like, wait, what? You mean they didn't even ask you about that? Okay, yeah. Because if they didn't ask you about that, you're going to get asked about that, because you're going to have to pay that off. I'm assuming those are the conversations you're having, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Especially there's so many first-time home buyers out there, and they just get absolutely zero education from most of these loan officers. They're just, hey, here's your payment, here's your cash to close, next. They're not doing any education whatsoever. Like just taking the time to explain what homestead exemption is, on property taxes. Explaining when you pay your property taxes, so you don't have to pay them every single year. It's built into your mortgage payment. Just taking the little extra time to educate, especially first-time home buyers, it goes a very long way.
Yeah, it's amazing. We've retroed. We went through this. We have all this incredible technology, and I liken an online loan app. You guys have heard me say this before too, an igloo. And what loan officers do is they shove a potential borrower naked into the igloo, and they don't even talk to them. Oh yeah, here, go to my online app. Bye. Call you after. Wait, what? Wait, what? What's going on? And the best loan officers in the country, they got a coat rack next to that igloo, and they're putting the people in a coat, and they're keeping a hand on them, and they cut a window in the igloo, and they put their hand through, and they're with them the whole time. They're not leaving them alone. And in this kind of market, you leave these people alone, they will end up with another loan officer and sometimes with another agent, which will greatly affect the relationship with the agent that referred them to you. Like if you don't know what they're doing. Nick, give me a couple things, what you're doing right now. If you're newer to the business, if you've been in the business a while, if you had a big 2020 and a big 2021, and you've already got your 2 Airbnbs and your Corvette, now you're thinking about giving the Corvette back because you were busy spending all that refi money you were making. Give these guys some and ladies some things that you're doing and that they should be doing right now to maximize 2023.
Well, I think it goes without saying, you got to be out there, being belly to belly with agents. It's the most important thing to do right now. But a lot of loan officers know that, and a lot of loan officers are doing the same thing. They're hitting up real estate offices. They're being very present. So really what you just got to do is just continue adding value to your current realtor partners to make sure that they, don't forget about you, but always just staying in constant communication with them, letting them know, hey, jobs report came out on Friday, which drastically improved interest rates. Interest rates are looking a lot better right now. Give them some positive news to go out there and tell potential home buyers in order to get them to purchase. So the biggest things that we're doing is just making sure that we're continuing to add value to our realtor partners, but we're also brushing up the old skills that I did to build my business, which was pushing out renovation financing. Most loan officers run for the hills when they hear about renovation financing. Scares the living hell out of them for some reason. But like you said, it's a gov loan with basically 4 different pieces of paper. You got a contractor involved, and really that's it. So we're pushing reno a lot as well, just because nobody else is. Every other loan officer out there is pushing them 2-1 buy down, 3-2-1 buy down, talking interest rate, the entire time. But I think because houses are staying on the market a lot longer, our buyers are being able to pick and choose which house they want, and they're also able to have the time that's needed to do a renovation loan. So if they need 30 or 45 days to close a loan, sellers are accepting it. And their sellers are fine with a renovation loan now, whereas before it's like, sorry, cash or conventional, close in 21 days, or, get out of here. So, we've really been pushing that as much as we can to not only our realtor partners, but also the buyers that we speak to as well. Just because, if they talk to 2 loan officers and you're the one who brings up renovation financing, there's a good chance that they're going to go with you because you're presenting them with all the options available to them.
So, Nick, it's such a timely message for everyone. Actually, most people probably needed to hear that in June, but interesting. So you went right back in the seam where you started, but it's advantage long because now it's okay. It's not like there's 50 people writing an offer on the house and you have to be cash, or you have to be some kind of, lockdown conventional loan where you waive everything. Now you can play ball. This I tell people all the time. Would you rather buy a house and pay 100 over at 3.5 interest rate, or pay the price it's listed for and get 10 grand in closing costs at 6.5? And by the way, you already know the math on that. The 6.5 deal is way better. You know what I mean? Instead of paying 100 over. So using products that traditionally are mildly more complicated to the consumer and the agent, knowing you have more time to lock in that business, huge. Also, you said another word. I want to bring it up. You used the word positive. Positive. You said positive news. People, if you don't realize that your job is to be screaming from the literal curb about how great it is to be a real estate agent, you've missed that part of your job description. You should not be part of a pity party with a bunch of agents feeling bad for themselves. You shouldn't be posting anything negative. You shouldn't be sharing anything negative. Any media that's negative on real estate or mortgage, you should never share or be any part of. Okay? You should be a positive beacon at all times, even in a tough storm. And I wrote that down, Nick, when you said that. Give them some positive news to give their people that are hearing negative news all day long, okay, in the media or whatever they're watching. The other thing, Nick, which I think is big, I always like to ask in your type of market too, with a little bit lower average loan amount. Kristen is going to be the same that's on here right now, the same with a little lower average loan amount. I am still seeing rent versus PITI. PITI kicks rents ass all the time because I'm not seeing rents dropping. I mean, I'm not seeing rents dropping anywhere in the country right now. So yeah, their interest rate might be 6.25%, 6.5%, whatever, 2-1 buy down, whatever you guys are doing. But when you look at it against that rent payment, you still win. Is that a layup in Orlando right now?
That's probably half the calls that we get from first-time home buyers. They're like, "Hey, my landlord just told me my rent's going to go up by $300. Like, screw this. I'm over it. I'm going to look at home buying now."
Yeah. So I mean, that's huge. And remember, everyone, your agent partners aren't usually great at this. You need to teach them to get the people to you very quickly so you can do all the numbers for them. So you can help them get someone teed up. You're hearing Nick say the word first-time home buyer. Again, interesting. He's staying. He went right back home and his volume is not dropping, okay, because he stayed right what put him on the map. Those of you that have been around for a while know first-time home buyers turn into second-time home buyers, especially when you've been around a while. Nick is not 50 years old, so he'll benefit from every one of those loans when somebody buys something else. I'm not talking about just refinancing them. So Nick, positive, stay out there. Anything else as far as how about just mindset for these loan officers? Like what should they be thinking? What are you telling the people that work for you every day when they're hanging their head and they're closing one loan and they're going upside down on their benefits and all the stuff that's going on? What kind of conversations are you having with your people?
I mean, we're basically just reiterating that, look, the last 2.5 years have been like the best time to be in this industry. And was it a great ride? Yeah, of course, it was awesome. But it's not going to continue to be like that. You've got to continue to grind. You got to work hard. You got to stay positive. And like, as soon as we start seeing any of our guys kind of get down in the dumps, we quickly change the conversation, try to make it positive, and get their mind, get themselves out of their own tube, in between their two ears, and try to get them, out and focusing on what really matters. And that's just driving purchase business, being in front of realtor partners, and helping out as many home buyers as you can.
Yeah, and it is just, this is literally, everyone can write this down from this call today. This is a take market share market. As these loan officers tap and get out of the way, you should be taking their loans, literally. And if Nick Long gets a save deal from one of your agent partners, you're in big trouble because he'll be in front of them for lunch probably within 5 days, okay? Which is what all the good loan officers are doing. He's not going to sit in his office and wait for another one. He's going to go get that person and make sure that they come into his fold. So Nick, mental... are you hearing, tell me a little bit about the agents right now in Orlando Metro. Are they done with the break? Are they still sort of down in the dumps? Or are you seeing them starting to spark up? I'm hearing a lot of pre-quals coming in from a lot of the one-on-one people I work with. I mean, a lot. Like I heard from someone this morning, Joel, one of my biggest pre-qual weeks since like 2019 this morning. I mean, the amount of stuff that came in.
It really started to kick up like Wednesday of last week. I think everyone, got the New Year's out of their eyes and realized that, and you now start back at zero. Like, it doesn't matter what you did in 2022. You're now at zero closings for the year. So you got to get back to calling people, back to prospecting. Getting people under contract. So yeah, last week was pretty busy. I think I got 4 contracts over the weekend. So it's definitely starting to pick up.
Yeah, Pete, I see that. Someone just private messaged how many referrals over the weekend. And that's right in line, Pete. That I'm hearing anywhere from 6. You got contracts. I'm talking about just pre-quals. You got 4 real deals. I mean, I'm hearing numbers like 16, 18, 15. Pre-quals. I'm sure you got tons of pre-quals. You're just saying the contracts you got.
We're starting to see weekends being busy again. It was for the longest time, weekends were just dead silent, and now we're starting to see the weekend calls go up, a lot. So I think it's the proof that people are actually out there searching for homes and wanting to buy.
So just so you all know, there's anyone on here that thinks you're allowed to turn your phone off on the weekend, you signed up for the wrong job, right? Because you just heard someone that does a lot of loans talking about taking calls on the weekends, even though I'm sure he gets a glare from his wife every once in a while, but she knows. But the bottom line is, I think this is a great time to be a loan officer, not a crappy time. Yes, last year was tough. Yes, did you probably get people that worked on your files riffed? I'm sure you did. Did you get LOAs? Did you get processors or old school processors? Or people have so many different names for things. Nick, you're learning all the new guaranteed rate names right now for all the different things people do. But I'm sure you did. And I'm sure at the beginning you were maybe upset and dismayed, but it's pretty much over. If you put your head down and you do loans right now, you're good. Companies are doing a very good job of supporting their people that are doing what they're supposed to be doing. So you shouldn't be worrying about looking over your shoulder, somebody going to get laid off or get ripped. You should be looking forward and literally plowing forward big time. Nick, anything else that would be, fun to add as far as even, daily routine for people, what you do during the day? I know you have 2 little kids. I also know I don't know if your wife is still working, but I do know she's had a big, a busy job. Tell people about your day. What do you do to just get ready to, get it on in the morning?
I started around April of last year, doing the 5:30 workout every single morning. It really just sets the tone for the day. That's what I do every single day. Then, from there, I'm being present with my kids in the morning, helping them out with school, getting them ready for school. I even take my kids to school as well. And then really from there, I try my hardest not to go on autopilot directly to the office. Been pretty easy since our new office is being renovated right now. We're about to move in, but it's important to not do autopilot directly to the office. The emails are still going to be there when you get there. Phone calls are still going to need to be done. If you just pop by real estate office and just say hello, or spend the first hour of your day just calling 5 or 10 realtor partners just to see what they're doing for the week, or whatever it is, and just spend that first hour or 2 of the workday prospecting and being out there. It's a big help. We also try to tell our guys too that you should be taking out realtors to a lunch at least 3 times a week. There's no reason. Realtors love to eat. They also love to drink. There's no reason why you shouldn't be out there with them doing those things. And it goes a long way as well. So
B2Bs, baby, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And Nick just said no autopilot, and it's funny. You just kind of reminded me. I feel like, what was that bar we were sitting in? And remember, we were sitting in that bar at 3:00 in the afternoon when we were talking about you getting ready to start meeting agents. Do you remember that? I don't remember where we were. Somewhere in Orlando. This is a long time ago. But I say that all the time. I love to hear you say that because it's such an important message. When you get in your car in the morning, if you turn it on and it drives itself to your office. Granted, look, we're coming out of COVID. I know a lot of you all work from home, but if your car drives itself to your office, that's problematic. And what Nick just said is huge. And a lot of times, Nick, when I get going with top producers, and I'm just starting with them, I'll force them to work from home just to annoy them a little bit, so they can't just go in the office and start yelling orders and walking around and seeing what everyone's doing. And suddenly the old Samantha, don't say anything. Samantha Daly, what do you do every morning? Pipeline meeting. What? Get out of that meeting immediately. Why are you in that? You know what I mean? But you're right. You get sucked in, and the morning is key. I love when people go, I'm not a morning person. I'm like, well, you're not probably a person at all. I mean, you literally, everything is going on then. That's when you get everything done. And if you do sales activity in the morning or even at lunch, it doesn't matter what happens the rest of your day. Your whole day could fall apart. You could have 3 denied loans, a low appraisal, bad title work, a title easement. I mean, who knows what you have going on? No matter what, when you go to eat dinner with your family, you did some type of sales activity. And I tell people every day, Nick, you should say this to your guys every morning. Text them. At the end of the day, what did you do today to develop a new relationship or deepen an existing one? And if the answer is 0, you failed for the day. I don't even care if you got 3 new contracts. You still failed because you should have done at least one thing, during the day to deepen an existing relationship or develop a new one. Guys and ladies, it's 2:28. Nick, any final words? By the way, Nick said a lot of really good stuff in here. This would be a good podcast to listen to again. Nick, any final words or?
No. I mean, just continue to work hard. Don't get out of the industry. It's I've seen many loan officers exit the industry over the last 6 months, and they just kind of put their hands up and gave up. But continue to grind, continue to work hard, and we'll do great things in 2023.
Yeah. So everybody, thank you for spending some time with me today. Again, this is wherever you want to get podcasts. We will see you all in 2 weeks, and especially thank you, Nick Long. We're going to put Nick's email in the chat right now. Or Nick, why don't you just say it? Is it nick.long@rate.com or is it, what is it?
Yeah, that's it. nick.long@rate.com.
Yeah, nick.long@rate.com. Okay, there it is right there. If you guys have any questions, Nick is a great guy. If you want to reach out to him, might take a couple minutes to reply because he's busy. But there's his email, nick.long@rate.com. Thank you, everyone, and I'll see everyone in 2 weeks. Thank you.